Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Thank you for being here. My name is Andrew, coming to you from the beautiful Carolinas. Today's topic is going to be why you won and now you know it. Think about that for a minute. Everyone, if you like the content, please like, subscribe, and share. So you were in a toxic relationship, maybe even a narcissistic relationship. This is the relationship you will need to heal from. It's the relationship that spun your world upside down. There are so many layers of betrayal, so many layers of dishonesty and manipulation and hiding assets and hiding people and groups of people and secrets and don't tell this and keep this apart from someone else and coming and going and ghosting and blame shifting, triangulation, rage fits, verbal abuse, on and on and on. You were in a cesspool of manipulation. You were in a cyclone of destruction. You were in a narcissistic relationship. Having said that, back then you didn't know what was going on. You were most likely lathered up with the love bomb or the euphoric stage. That's when the narcissist set the trap for you. It's when they acted like the best person you had ever met on the planet, that the two of you could ride off into the sunset, etc., or that you could go into business or have children or raise a family or loan them money. Whatever you were doing something for them, providing utility for them, and they were love bombing you in the beginning of that relationship, most likely. Now, having said that, again, you weren't taught this in school. You didn't know that narcissism existed. You didn't know that other people could manipulate you, perhaps from your birth, meaning your parents, in your romantic relationships. You didn't know that people could misdirect you or give little slivers of the truth or give you wrong directions intentionally or steal your objects or break your objects or claim they needed money when they had a lot of money, but they wanted to use your money because the narcissist loves money. And what do they love more than money? They love your money. There are so many different layers to this toxic narcissistic relationship, so many layers upon layers upon layers of education that must be acquired. Once you do this and you understand that that relationship is a relationship that you never expected it to be, this person completely smothered you with fakeness. They got you hooked on them. Bear in mind, the narcissist never gets hooked on anybody. What they want to do is they want to get people who have the ability to fall in love with them, or they want to have people who have high levels of empathy use their empathy for them. Or maybe the person that you're considering, or maybe yourself, maybe you don't have the highest level of empathy, but I know you can feel and you can love, and I know that you gave something to the narcissist. Maybe it was your time, maybe it was your energy, maybe it was your wisdom, maybe it was your expertise. Maybe it was this relationship you're considering was a long distance relationship, it was only via text, or maybe it was only on a phone call. Maybe you two never even met in person. There was something that attracted the narcissist to you. And whatever it was, they were looking for something more than they got from you. Now, having said that, you may say, well, why would you say that? I would say that because you're here. You are in the community. You are rising through the ashes like a phoenix, dusting yourself off and putting yourselves back together, piece by piece, day by day, week by week, on and on and on. You see, the narcissist couldn't finish you off. They tried and they failed miserably. And having said that, that's why this relationship has turned your world upside down. That's why the narcissist took their best shot at you. That's why they could not achieve what they had achieved with so many other people before they met you. And so this is why once you're out of the narcissistic relationship and you're healing and you're focusing on yourself and you're slowing your life down and you're staying in that cocoon of boundaries, you are insulated, protected, and you're understanding what narcissism is, how it affected you for a period of time, and that you are no longer in the cycle. You have gone no contact, and possibly block the narcissist, deleted them, remove them and all flying monkeys and people associated with them. When you realize that, then you get some calmness that surrounds you. Unlike this beautiful wind that is really cooling me down on this super hot Carolina day, you will get calmness. You will get clarity. You will get peace. You will get your mindset back. You will get your purpose revealed to you. You will no longer have drama. You will no longer have to deal with ruminating. This will take time. It will take a lot of time. But in your time, as you utilize the tools that are provided for you on the channel and in the community, you will understand that, yes, that relationship wasn't what you thought it was. It was what it was, which was a taxing, trying, life-threatening, challenging relationship. But you're out. And as you're out and you get further and further away from the narcissist and your clarity returns, your mindset returns, and your health returns, and your finances return, and you rebuild relationships that were fractured by the narcissist, if those people are still out of the loop, and meaning they're not communicating with the narcissist. Side note, pro tip, If you are communicating with anyone who is communicating with your ex or with a narcissist, that is not going to bode well for you. That person could be intentionally or unintentionally a fly monkey, and your name could pop back up, which means you may get on the radar of the narcissist again. That's not what you want. You want to have a small footprint, get off the radar of the narcissist, and not communicate with people who are still in communication with the narcissist. Take that and take it to heart. But getting back to the thumbnail, why you won and now you know it, is because when you're out of these relationships and after the dust has settled, the fog has lifted and the clarity appears, you realize that it's a great thing that you're out of that relationship. This is when you've broken the trauma bond. This is when you're no longer spying on their social media. This is when you finally did block them. This is when you finally put yourself back together, or you're about to do so. And you realize that the peace and the serenity and the calmness that are surrounding you are exactly what you need. You see, you're going to have to go back in time and process so many things of that relationship. You're going to have to go back and process so many different experiences you had, so many different questions that you needed the answers to that person would never provide for you. One thing these people will never offer anybody, and you will be no different, is they will never, and I mean never, give somebody closure. They will never ever sit down, have that cup of coffee and talk with them and say, you know what, this is who I am. This is what I did to you. This is what I will do to other people, and I will always, always know that I got one over on you. They're not going to do that. What they're going to do is slither away off to the new supply, hoping to keep that door or doors of communication open with you so that they, at a later date, perhaps, if they wanted to, could attempt to hoover you. You must not accept a hoover. Get off the radar of the narcissist. Do not accept a hoover. Become unhooverable, which means batten down the hatches, close all avenues of communication with that person or those people, and heal properly. But why you won, or how you won, and why you won, and now you know it, it's because you now realize that this was a test of a lifetime. This was the test of your lifetime. Now, you didn't know that because you probably were thinking, well, the tests that I took were usually in school or university or an aptitude test to get a job, etc., or maybe a driver's license test or something. Well, those were tests, but they pale in comparison to the tests of your lifetime, which is getting all the toxicity out of your pores, out of your aura, out of your veins from the narcissist. You see, this test is something you must pass, and you will pass once you block them and go no contact. Once you reach that pinnacle of indifference, that mountaintop of indifference, and you will reach it if you continue to focus on yourself, focus on your attention and your energy and on yourself, and heal properly. Once you do that, you'll realize you did win. The narcissist thought that they had won. They thought they finished you off. They thought that they had beaten you because they were playing mental chess with you from the minute they met you. And they were 3 steps in front of you the whole time. Even when that relationship ended, they were more like 10 steps in front of you, because by this time, when the discard happened, if you were, my heart goes out to you, or if you end it yourself, my heart still goes out to you. But by then, they had taken your money, they had taken your health, they had taken your mindset, your jobs, your hobbies, your relationships, your purpose, your belief in humanity to some degree. They took everything and more. And yes, they did know what they were doing. Don't think for a moment they don't know what they're doing. If you do, you have work to do. The narcissist breathes the same air as we do, and they wear the same clothes as we do. They know exactly what they're doing. They are master manipulators. They are cowards. They are bullies. They're shallow. They're hollow. There's no substance to them, and they know it. This is why they slither into people's lives, and this is why they discard people, because they don't care about people. They are always on the quest looking for the next new shiny object, the next new supply, the next fuel source. So when you're out and you've healed or you're healing, one day you will wake up and you will realize, oh my gosh, I'm not ruminating that much. I'm not thinking about them as much. I'm exercising now. I'm journaling. I'm meditating. I'm eating properly. I am seeing a therapist who knows what they're talking about. Maybe I'm not watching as many videos now. Maybe I'm watching more videos now. I'm healing childhood wounds. I'm placing all that energy that was going into that bottomless pit, i.e. the narcissist. It's now going back into myself. And as you do it, you realize that the narcissist hasn't changed. The only thing they change is the mask they wear to manipulate another unsuspecting person or a recycled source of supply. They're always going to be existing in that low vibrational quagmire state. You, unfortunately, were trapped in that state with them because that's where they placed you. But you are a beautiful, bright, shining light. And once you heal, and you heal in time, in your time, and as you do heal, you will realize that you did win, and now you know it. As you heal, you realize that, wait a minute, I'm not where I was, and I'm actually improving. I'm understanding that that was a test of a lifetime, but that toxic person, i.e. the narcissist, they're the same old person. They're still wearing the same clothes. They're still having the same haircut. They're still trying to manipulate the same people. They're still going to the same places or the same spots. They're still doing the same silly hobbies. They're still doing the same old thing that they ever did because they're looking for a fuel source. You see, the narcissist can't escape themselves, but you can escape the narcissist. That's what you've done, whether you know it or not. Again, if you were discarded like I was, well, that was probably one of the most earth-shattering, debilitating, challenging parts of your whole existence. Well, that's what it was. It was meant to do damage to you. It was meant to destroy you. It was a test of a lifetime to see if you would make it out and heal and put yourself back together like I did. And I did. And if I did, you can. You need to believe in yourself the way I believe in yourself. You need to not quit. Don't ever quit. Don't give up. Don't ever give up, and realize you won. Now again, with winning usually is for games. Example, a game of Monopoly, a game of checkers, etc. Well, the narcissist was playing mental jujitsu or mental chess with you, and they were light years in front of you, meaning they were making moves and moving the pawns and the rooks and the bishops and the queen and the king and the knights all around the board, and they were trying to finish you off. You were the target, whether you know it or not. That's why on the thumbnail there is a chessboard with a few minds and the clarity and the stars and the solar system, etc. It's because that's where you were trapped. You're no longer trapped there. I certainly am not trapped there, but that's where you were trapped. That's why every time you would open the front door, you didn't know if it would be Dr. Jekyll or Mr. Hyde who would greet you. That's why you were walking around on eggshells. That's why you became the unpaid helper. That's why you were the walking apology. That's why you were the person who regulated them. That's why they treated you so horribly the more that relationship went on. That's why they would triangulate you at dinner. That's why they would break your plans and not celebrate your birthday or celebrate any holidays. That's why they didn't go to your kids' graduations. That's why they financially abused you and acted like they didn't know what you were talking about. That's why they hide money and don't want you to ever find out. That's why they keep the legal system stuck and they keep on playing the long game. That's why these people don't change. So when you get out of the relationship and you've healed, you will understand one day that, yeah, there was a price for you to pay, a very big price. And if you want the truth, there were multiple prices for you to pay to be in that relationship. But again, you didn't know back then what you know now. So now that you know what you know, and you have the clarity and you have the abundance and you have the doors of opportunity being presented to you and the doors of possibility opening right in front of you, then you realize, wow, I did win. I'm out. I made it. I'm one of the resilient ones. I'm one of the fortunate ones. I'm one of the courageous ones. I'm one of the strongest people on the planet. When I say that, I'm not talking like muscles. I'm talking your mindset. Your brain can do anything it puts itself to, anything you put it to. Your mind, anything you focus your attention on, you can accomplish. Anything. Notice I paused right there. Why do you think I paused? I'll tell you why. Because I took myself back in time for a brief moment there thinking when I didn't know what was going on. The night of the discard, the next day, the subsequent days, I didn't know what I was up against. I had no idea how somebody could do that. But guess what I did? I kept on fighting. I kept on researching. I had sleepless nights. I experienced the dark night of the soul. I had to put myself back together slowly. One day I figured out what narcissism was. I dropped to the ground. I wailed. I cried. I could not believe it. I was shaking uncontrollably. I couldn't believe, how did I not know this? Well, I didn't know it because I wasn't taught in school, and neither were you. But guess what I did? I went to work on myself, and I figured this out as quick as I possibly could. Truth be told, it took me only a few weeks, but once I did it, this is all I did, focusing on myself and how to break the tethers, the emotional tether, the physical tether, the financial tether, and the spiritual tether. And was I still in the fog a few weeks after the relationship? Absolutely. 100% I was. I didn't know what was going on. I was just scratching the surface of the wisdom. But I craved the knowledge. I craved the education. I craved the clarity. I craved to learn something that I should have known my whole life. And eventually what I did is I dusted myself off and put myself back together. And every single day I journaled, and every single day I still journal, and every single day I focused on myself. And eventually the divorce happened. Eventually the assets were split. Eventually other things took place that I'm not going to talk about. And here I am, healing, paying it forward, helping you heal, helping people out that don't even know that they need help, because that was me at one point, and that certainly was you. Think about it. Back in time, you didn't even know what the new supply was, neither did I. You definitely didn't know what triangulation was. You didn't know what gaslighting was. You certainly did not know what financial abuse was, but now you know all these things, or you're learning them. So guess what? You won. This was the test of a lifetime. You were in a battle with a behemoth that was taking haymakers and huge swings at you left, right, and center. You had no idea what you were up against, and you kept on giving to a fault. You kept on being committed. You kept on staying in that ring with your worst enemy, with someone who professed perhaps that they even loved you or was in love with you. They were your worst enemy. But now you're out, and now you understand they're always going to stay in that low vibrational state. They will always blame other people. They will always abuse other people. They always smear people's names. They will always do whatever they can do because that's what they do. They are toxic people. Stay up as far away from them as you possibly can and maintain your boundaries, maintain no contact, and get off the radar of these people. And that is why you won, and now you know it. Believe it. Stay out of the jaws. Stay out of the grasp of the narcissist. Maintain no contact. If not now, when? I love you all. God bless you. So that's the video. I hope you liked it. I loved doing it from the beautiful Carolinas. This is Andrew. Namaste. Have a great afternoon, evening, or morning, no matter where you are on the planet. You are not alone. Remember that. You are not alone. I love you all. God bless you, and I'll talk to you tomorrow. And it looks like we are going to get a Carolina storm. That's why this wind is picking up. So I'm going to have to get back to where I am going. I'll close the video. Before I do, I just want to share with you, you're an amazing human being. You're beautiful. You're loved. You're intelligent. You're kind. You're courageous. You're resilient. You're committed. You're driven. You're determined. You're an empath. And you are stronger than you know. Don't think for a minute the narcissist won. They didn't. They cheated. They lied. They stole. They manipulated. They gave you misinformation. They did whatever they could do to blow up all of your relationships, steal your energy, your money, your time, and anything else they could take. They are extremely toxic people. They're the parasite that were looking for a host. And unfortunately, that host was you, as it was myself. But once you get out and you put yourself back together, you realize that you won. And now you know it because you did. I love you all. God bless you. And I'll talk to you tomorrow. Bye, everybody.